Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us in celebrating Israel's 73rd birthday, Yom HaAtzmaut. I'm sitting next to Uri Jeremias, who generously opened his house to us. My name is Lisha Flax. I'm the co-chair of the Western Galilee Partnership, which comprises of 19 communities, 16 in the US, 2 in Israel, and 1 in Budapest, and is part of the Jewish Agency. Uri, like I mentioned, kindly opened his house to us, and he's going to show us some genuine Israeli cooking. A few words about Uri. Uri opened his restaurant, Uri Buri, a well-known institution in Israel, in 1989 in Nahariya. And he had the vision of restoring some very old houses in ancient Akko. And in 1997, he opened Uri Buri in Akko. He relocated it. He restored the very old building there. And in 2003, he further purchased a few old properties there, which were totally run down. And over 9 years, he totally restored them and opened the first boutique hotel in Akko, which is called the Effendi Hotel. Uri is a very special person, very special individual. And during the Corona lockdowns, him and his team volunteered in preparing meals for the elderly and the needy, around 50 meals a week for 50 people. And he carried that over for several months with the help of the Akko municipality. I'd like now to pass on the reign to Uri, say a few words. Thank you very much again for having us here. It's amazing.
Thank you, L'chaim, for Yom HaAtzmaut and for Israel, and hope to have a very good year to come after this very hard year we have passed. Behind me, you can see Ali, who is the chef in practice in the restaurant today, and he will cook. This is his part, and I'm talking nonsense. This is my part. So
I thought that's my part.
Okay, we will share it. I don't want to take
it's okay, it's
of
okay.
Your honor. Sorry. Let's celebrate. Ali is. I will show you his kingdom. Now he will prepare some ceviche, kind of. When we call it ceviche, is because it's raw fish, finely sliced, and he will prepare it while we are
Drinking wine.
Drinking wine and talking. And he will prepare later 2 other dishes, and we will follow his work. You can see what he's doing while I'm talking. And Ali is, I'm very proud about our coexistence in Akko in generally, and especially in my restaurant. We have people from all religions and all origins, and so it is him as a Muslim and me as a Jew. We are working together for the last 18 years. He started as a kid in my restaurant, and today he is the chef. And I'm very proud and happy with his performance. And I hope that you can see what he's doing, and he's doing it today much better than me. In general, today we are making together the different new dishes, and it is bringing different style, a little bit more oriental and so on, and you will see it later. So Ali will do his work and I will talk. I'm talking about Akko, about Israel in general. Akko is a kind of special event in the life of Israel. I came to Akko as a child. I started to work there when my father had a gas distribution company, and I was working with him in the 60s. And I was always excited by the genuinity and special atmosphere of the city. It is one of the oldest cities in the world, 5,300 years of history. We have every year a group of archaeologists from Penn University in the States coming to make excavations in Mount Napoleon in Akko, and discovering every year new layers of history in the city. And it is just that it is an anomaly. Akko is getting older around 20 years every year. And in generally, it was known that Akko is 4,800 years old, 20 years ago. And today it's common knowledge that it's 5,300. And this is due to this new discoveries every year. So it is really every year gaining more and more years of age and history. Our hotel and the restaurant are part of the old buildings. And one of the most interesting buildings is the hotel, with history from Byzantine time. We have a wine cellar from Crusaders time, and authentic Turkish bath, 400 years old, and painted ceilings from the Ottoman time. So it's something very special. But what I actually want to talk about is my kitchen, and I think that this is what you came to hear. Our kitchen is an Israeli kitchen, as I see it. What is an Israeli kitchen is very much in question. Everybody sees his kitchen as an Israeli kitchen in Israel, and this is what Israel is actually about. Everybody has the right to decide that his thing is Israel. And what I'm doing is like taking experiences and ideas from kitchens all over the world, and impressions, and cooking my own kitchen. I never studied cooking. I never worked in a restaurant. I started cooking at home for my family and friends. I was thrown out of school after 10 years of studies, and it was about 5 years too late that they throw me out. I would have been better off if they would throw me out much earlier. And then I started to travel around the world and get impressions of all kinds of cultures and understandings and lifestyles. I traveled for 4 years all the way down to India with a car that I converted into a living van, and I cooked throughout Persia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, all the way to India. And then I sold the car. I tried to go into India, and I had to go back in Afghanistan and sell it. And then I traveled in India hitchhiking. I came back to Israel in 1969 and married my wife Yael, my best wife, in 1970. And yeah, and she's my best friend since, and I'm very happy with all these 52 years that we lived together with all our children. But back to my kitchen, I decided that as I never learned cooking and never worked in any restaurant, I would cook for friends and so on. And I cooked whatever I tried and whatever was the outcome, and everybody was very happy. And then when I left the job in 88, I left the job as working for the United Nations as a freelance procurement for the UN forces in the Middle East. I decided I don't want to work there anymore. And my friend Ilan has convinced me to open a fish restaurant in Naharia. So I opened my first fish restaurant, and it was not a immediate success because I decided I want to cook what I know, and it had not very much demand. So I had to make a kind of start to cook things that were popular, like fried fish. I did not enjoy it very much. I made a mix of cooking my kitchen and satisfying those who wanted to have the fried fish in order to go on keeping their business. Step by step, I managed to control and master the kitchen the way I wanted it. And from the very beginning, we had newcomers from Russia, Arabs, Jews, and newcomers, and all of them mixed in the kitchen. And with the year, we developed a few lines. Principally, I don't have principles, but I have a few guiding lines. And within the guiding lines, the first guiding line is I serve only things that I like to eat. The next guiding line is we don't put in the plate anything that is not edible, and not anything that is just for decoration that doesn't have a role in the balance of tastes, like flowers that are edible but not contributing above the color. I think that food has its own aesthetics if you just put it aesthetically on the plate without having too much of decorations. I'm trying to keep no more than 8 to 9 ingredients in a dish, because if you put too many ingredients, you have an overlap and you don't recognize what you're eating anymore. So it is getting to be a cacophony of food. And that's why I'm trying to keep no more than, as I say, 8 to 9 ingredients. And we don't make mountains in the plate. One day I saw in a restaurant a man coming with holding the fish with 2 fingers in the plate. And I asked, why do you do this? He said, I don't want the fish to fall again. So I decided I'm not making any mountains in the table. And the most important is the ingredients. The best ingredients you can find at the time to be used. The chain is as strong as its weakest link. And once you put one ingredient that is not standing in the standard with the others, it will be guaranteed ruining the plate. To have, I know a few people that can spoil fresh fish and ruin fresh fish, but I don't know any genius who can make a delicacy out of a rotten fish. And especially in fish, it has to be very basic, that the fish has to be very fresh. It gets dry taste and fishy taste, and you have many people that are just getting a fish and pouring on it a lot of lemon because it smells already, or they don't even know why they do it. But usually they use a lot of lemon to cover the fishy taste and others. So once you have a fresh fish, you don't need the lemon. With the Ali, he's now controlling the kitchen. He's buying the raw materials. He's doing everything that belongs to the basic work. And we are in a way, I left him all the kitchen work and managing the people. What I'm doing is today, the public relations are taking care of our customers, because about 50% of the customers in the restaurant are a kind of club members. They are visiting us constantly. Some are coming once a week and others coming once a month. It doesn't matter, but they are repeating, they're coming back. And it's very important to keep it. And Ali is joining slowly and knowing all these people as well. We have Laura, that is 27 years in the restaurant. Is a waitress that is now managing the other waitresses. So we have a very old, maybe the oldest staff. Shamsia is working with us for 20 years and he's in charge of the fish department and cleaning the fish and taking care of it. He's an analphabet, but he is, and he has the people's phone numbers with pictures and so on. But he's very talented in fish cleaning and so on. And Anya is working 20 years in the back kitchen. And so we have maybe the oldest staff, restaurant staff in Israel, not the oldest, but the lasting, longest lasting. And I'm very proud about this. And I think that it creates a kind of a club, which is very important to maintain the spirit and the tastes of the restaurant. Now we will see Ali. He has finished his dish. Cutting, now a touch of salt on the fish. And capers, these are capers that are cut, you know, finely cut. And a little bit of the juice of the capers curing water and lemon. So it's a fine layer of this. And red onions that are finely cut. Some red onions cut into rings. And a touch of olive oil. I like with fish settled olive oil because if you use young, fresh olive oil, it has a bitterness that overpowers the taste of the fish. So what we do is we buy the olive oil when it's fresh. We put it aside for at least 6 months, let it settle and get more tender and emphasize the olive taste and not the olive's meat taste. So this is the first dish. Now Ali will start the next dish. This is Mediterranean. This is a Mediterranean fish, and it's Mediterranean because it has garlic, chili pepper, lemon, olive oil, and coriander. So this is Mediterranean. And what we do with this is, first of all, we put in a pan, we put a little bit of oil and just to smear a little bit the pan. Yeah. And then rough kosher salt. The rough kosher salt has two purposes. When you put the salt, so hot, and the fish with skin down, and we fillet the fish with skin down, with the skin on, so it will keep the moisture of the fish and not dry it too much. Now what we do is let it heat, and then put the fish with the skin down on the salt, the salt heats and releases the heat as infrared waves. So the skin gets crispy, but it doesn't dry the fish. And then after about 3 minutes, we turn it to the other side. In the meantime, Ali will prepare the mix of the olive oil, the chili pepper, and the garlic, a lot of garlic. We love a lot of garlic. And the chili pepper and garlic you can put to taste. You know, if you like it very hot, you put more chili. If you like it milder, you can use less. The same with the garlic. In the restaurant, we serve it quite strong tasted. And then we use either a fish sauce or anchovies that we grind to get the salt with a more sea taste, lemon, and coriander on top at the end of the cooking. So Ali will do this and I will go on top. Yeah, L'chaim. What I have to say is that while we fry in olive oil, we use very low fire, so it won't sizzle too much. If you put garlic or chili pepper or anything else and it's too hot, it will get bitter because it's like fried too much. And the olive oil has to be on a very low temperature. You let it sizzle a little bit. You add the lemon and the fish sauce to stop the frying, and then you pour it on the fish. And as you can see, it starts to fry. Def Shalaziz. Yeah. This will be eaten later by someone. I don't know exactly who. Yeah. Yeah. Good. L'chaim again. Now, because of this salting of this, the skin gets very crispy, and it takes a little bit longer to fry. And we put it 3 minutes on the skin side, and then only 1 minute on the other side. Back to the people in the kitchen. We take people from the area, from Akko, mainly young people. We don't hire professional people to work in the kitchen, as our kitchen is very different in its attitude and its discipline. We take young people from the area of the restaurant, from Akko, and we put them in the back kitchen. They're working for at least 3 years, and if they are good, we send them to a cooking school that is recognized by the Ministry of Work in Israel. So they get a license of the first course. We have 5 courses like this, and all the 5 courses are in distance of learning, and we teach them for 2 years, 2-3 years, and send them to another course, and another 2-3 years, and another course. Ali has passed all the 5 of them, and he is now a diploma chef. He can work in a hospital, like managing the kitchen, or in a hotel, or anywhere else. He has all the licenses of the Ministry of of Health and Ministry of Work. So he stays with us, although he can do all this because he has his position in feels comfortable in the place, and I'm very proud of all this stuff. But as I say, they are all grown in our kitchen, and one of the reasons I want them to study is that they are free to leave anytime. I don't want to keep anyone in the kitchen who is there because he must be there. Every one of my workers can find a job if he wants, but he gets his salary and his honor and his position in the group. Everybody can grow within this group as far as he wants. And once he reached the point in which he can't grow anymore, or he thinks he can't grow anymore, as he has all the licenses, he can leave. Regarding the coexistence, there is one rule that enables people to live together. And in the Middle East, it's much more important than anywhere else, I think, or it's a much more central ingredients that enables people to live together, and this is respect. When I came to Akko, everybody said you're crazy, you know, you're going like as a Jew into the old city of Akko, and you open a restaurant here for who will be your clients? And the Jews from the area, they won't come at night to the old city of Akko. Who are your clients? I say everybody wants to come and have a good fish will come and eat. And when I came, people say to me, okay, how are you going to start? First thing I did when I bought the place, I went to my neighbors and I said, hello, I'm your new neighbor, and I'm here to live with you for the rest of my life. And I want to hear if you have any problems. I want to be the one who hears it, and we will overbridge all questions and all problems. And they were firstly shocked by my attitude, but then one of them said, the last restaurant that was here had a grill, you know, a frying and barbecue that choked us with the smoke. And what are you going to do about it? I said, I will build a chimney that will be as good as leading to a situation in which you don't have any problems anymore with the smells and so on. Because the neighbor said, I'm Mr. Asadi. I have a lung problem and it disturbs me very much. I said, no problem. We will solve it. And we solved it. And so neighbor by neighbor understood that I'm serious and I'm ready to invest in solving problems. And it has really created a kind of a very different atmosphere. I can't say that everybody loves me in Akko, but I can definitely say that the majority of the people respect me. And we had, when we have some problems, I know today everybody, if it is the people from the religious Christians or Muslims or whatever, and with the simple people in the street, and I think that we have achieved a very, very great coexistence in Akko. It has reflected in a way the whole area. When I bought the hotel, was a kind of a condemned house, declared as a condemned house one hand, and by the Ministry of Antiquity as a house for the highest grade of conservation. I just everybody was astonished. Everybody said, how are you going to make this project? It took almost 9 years until I opened the restaurant. And when people ask me how much did it cost to make all these fantastic renovations, I say that in the house of the hangman, you don't talk about the rope. And it was an obscene amount of money. But when you build something with intentions to make money, then it is creating a situation in which it's in question if you make money. If you make something and you make it the best you can, the outcome of right doing is the income. And I can see it after 9 years that the hotel works, and 24 years that the restaurant is working in Akko, that this really works. It needs, I don't know if it's courage, it needs a different thinking to go into adventures like this. But how many people have a chance in their life to do projects like this? And how many of the people who have a chance to do it really take it and make it? And I'm very proud and very happy that I did it. I think that it is a very central thing in my life. And my family and my friends, and it has a big effect on everything that happens around us in Akko. And I hope that it will go a little bit wider than that. And now Ali is going to make this. It smells. It smells like garlic. The garlic smells. Now you can see how it is very simply plated. It's not that we make any. And it's very tender. It's not well done. No way. It has to be soft and tender. Voila. As they say, c'est tout. We are not in panic with the oil. It was a few years ago that people were very worried about having too much oil. And if you gave a plate like this with oil in the bottom, they would say, it's too oily. And so, but this is the best of the sauce you can have. Olive oil, lemon, and so on. It's just, you don't have to add anything. Just take nice loaf of bread and dip the bread in the sauce, or have some majadara, or rice, or anything else. Just to absorb the sauce. Yeah, here it is. Tavon. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, everybody. We're gonna have a short musical break. My name is Sharon Chayet. I have the privilege to direct the partnership. Thank you, Uri, so much. It smells so good here. You won't believe it. It smells so good. I would like to introduce Shuli and Moshe Dayan, husband and wife, singers from the Western Galilee, from the city of Akko also. They will sing a song, Shevet Achim Ve'achayot, that was written 2 years ago in 2019. It was written by Doron Medley and was the music is by Idan Reichel, It was a project 2 years ago to unite the people of Israel, and the project involved 34 different musicians and singers in Israel. So thank you very much and enjoy the song.
Thank you, Shama.
70 שנה במכונית, אני נוסע ומביט על מה היה ומה נהיה, ואיך נפשי עוד הומייה מהצדה של הסליחה, ירושלים בסליחות, מחוף כנרת ואכזים, מהמסיבות של תל אביב. אבי חלם והתפלל לחיות בארץ ישראל, היום ילדי אותי שואל מה הסיפור של ישראל. כאן זה בית, כאן זה לב, ואותך אני לא עוזב, אבותינו שורשים ואנחנו הפרחים, המנגינות, שבט אחים ואחיות. Everybody. אותה שכונה, אותו רחוב, בסרבנים של יעקב, אוספים ביחד נדודים, בתוך תרמיל געגועים, אדם ונוף מולדתו, חורת קווים בכף ידו, בין התפילות לנדרים, ריחות פרדס של הדרים, ובעיניה של אמי תמיד אמצא את מקומי, על הגיטרה מתנגן ניגון עתיק שמחבר. כאן זה בית, כאן זה לב, ואותך אני לא עוזב, אבותינו שורשים ואנחנו הפרחים, המנגינות, שבט אחים ואחיות. מבראשית הכל תפור, טלאים טלאים של הסיפור, כמו שתי מילים להתחבר בחוט זהב של משורר. אני מכאן, אני שייך בכל חבר שלי כמו אתה פועמת בלבבי, אני מזרח מערבי. כאן זה בית, כאן זה לב, ואותך אני לא עוזב, אבותינו שורשים ואנחנו הפרחים, המנגינות, שבט אחים ואחיות. כאן זה בית, כאן זה לב, ואותך אני לא עוזב, אבותינו שורשים ואנחנו הפרחים, המנגינות, שבט אחים ואחיות. ואותך אני לא עוזב, אבותינו שורשים ואנחנו הפרחים, המנגינות, שבט אחים ואחיות. שבט אחים ואחיות. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
אנחנו נשאל רגע שאלה, בסדר?
כן.
So before we move to the next dish, first of all, I would like to say that everybody that are registered through email to the program will get the recipes, or maybe already got the recipes in the email. Also, we will have the recipes on our Facebook website, on the partnership Facebook website. There is a question for you, Uri, from Rob Goldberg from Buffalo, the executive director of Buffalo, who asked him what happened in the restaurant during the year of COVID-19. What did you do in the past year?
Yeah. In the beginning, you were told about our team volunteering, and we were in the first lockdown. I was writing my book, a new book in German for a German company. And we had here a photographer and from Italy, Vivi D'Angelo, she lives in Germany. And we wrote this book for Refe und Unser as a publisher in Germany. And I was quite busy with this. And in Rosh Hashanah, I decided that as in Rosh Hashanah, the restaurant is closed, but the hotel is open. Ali and the team were supposed to cook for guests in the hotel. And I decided that as the restaurant is not working, we will give some elderly, lonely people in Akko an experience of Uri Buri, and invited them to eat in our restaurant the Rosh Hashanah meal. These were 30 people that were invited, and the list we got from the municipality, yes. And so we prepared everything, and the last day they told us that we can't supply today, we can't invite these people because there is a lockdown. And so as everything was ready and the people were very disappointed and didn't have a chance to prepare their meal, we decided that we will make the meal and bring it to their homes. The people who came back from delivering these meals to the elderly people were so shocked by this whole event and the reactions of the people and how it made them happy, that we discussed these things and we decided to go on doing it during the lockdown. Nobody knew how long it is going to last, but actually we cooked for 50 lonely people, twice a week, a double meal every time. So they had 4 Uri Buri meals a week brought to their homes. Our cooks volunteered to cook, and the waitresses volunteered to bring it to the homes of the lonely people. And I financed the whole operation. The city of Akko gave us the insurance of the workers because we cannot on people that were paid by the government. I can't give a job or something. So they, as volunteers, they had to be insured. So the city hall insured them and gave them all the licenses to move and come to work because of during the lockdown, nobody could move in the area. And it was really something that was made wonder to all of us, because it kept the team together. It changed the whole atmosphere, as some of the weak people in the group suddenly changed from being supported to be supporters, and from receivers to givers. It has really made a change to many of our workers' life. And when we came back to work, many restaurants in Israel, many working places didn't get all the workers back to work, and we got all of them back to work. We have some manpower problems because some people went to study, others pregnancy and so on. And on top of all, once we came back from the lockdown and opened our gates in the restaurant and in the hotel are flooded with work, and I hope it will go on. And this was relatively very easy time for us in comparison to others. And on top of it, in the hotel and in the restaurant, we have invested quite a lot of money to make all the maintenance work and things that we were supposed to do in the 2 next coming years. So we really took advantage of all the situation to, in the best way, I would say. And again, it's a team. There is no one chef, even the biggest genius, that can manage a place like this on his own. And he needs this team, and I am proud to say that I think that I have at least the best team in Israel. And I'm very proud about it. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, there are questions about the type of the fish that you use. Now it's all in the recipe, but can you talk about, people in America, they get the same fish? Do you know?
Yes. First of all, yes, but it doesn't matter. We have in my book, I usually give lists of things that we have white interpreters that have softer meat or a tougher meat or so on. But it doesn't matter so much. A fresh fish is a fresh fish, and it's hard to spoil. And I think that most of the things are flexible. There are some fish like tuna and sardines and others like mackerel, some of the mackerels that have a bite taste that you can use stronger spices, and some others like salmon and trout, and that if you overpower, it's very easy to overpower the fish. And one of the things one has to decide is what is the main issue in a plate. And in our case, it's the fish. So all the things have to support the fish. And the balance is by using different tastes. You can use sour and hot and in the same plate. And it will all support the fish, because this is the main thing. And other times you take a fish and make it with the puree of cauliflower, which is very tender, and a little bit of butter and so on. So it complements the fish that doesn't have strong sea taste or something like this, and it doesn't disappear. And this is a matter of experience, I would say. But in the books, we write exactly which fish can be used in what way.
Let's go to the next recipe.
Next recipe. Here is the next recipe, and this is a barramundi in this case. And the barramundi is first of all treated the same way we treated the other fish and the French mackerel. We have here the salt and the skin down and all we showed you before. And here we have a complete different balance. I chose to take another time the olive oil, but in this case, you can decide if you want to go with butter or with olive oil in this dish. We use today the olive oil, capers, and lemon. And yeah, we have it all here. Parsley and dill and a little bit of balsamic and butter and fish sauce.
Can I ask you another question?
Yes.
So Judy Katz from Northwest Indiana, she asked, where do you get the fish? And then, wait, and then Shoshana Pepperman from South Bend asked, do you serve salmon? That's, it goes together.
Yeah, first of all, I serve
every fish that I know how to handle. I don't serve fish that is protected by law. No, in Israel you can't serve lobsters or fish in certain sizes, too small, or etc. And we won't serve anything of this kind. But all the other fish, or sharks, for example, all the other fish, I say there is no bad fish, there is only bad cook. If something is wrong, never blame the fish. So we get fish from whatever source we can get it. Sometimes we have, for a few days, the rough sea, and we have to run the restaurant. So in the worst case, we are ordering some fish from Uri in France. In Uri airport, they have fish market or seafood market, and this is for all Europe. It arrives from all over the world to Uri, and then spread to all over. We can find like tuna that was caught in Yemen, sent through ferries to Tel Aviv and reach my restaurant within 24 hours. Sometimes we can't get fish from the Red Sea in Eilat within 24 hours to Akko. And in this case, we get it all the way from Yemen to our shop within 24 hours. It is a little bit more expensive, but we have to run the restaurant. So sometimes we order fish from over there, from France, and we can get fish from Iraq and from ponds or cages in the sea, or imported from, we have quite a lot of import from Turkey and Greece and Cyprus, because they are growing marine agriculture. The fish is high quality and very fresh. It arrives very fresh into our place.
Uri, we have a chef here, Chef Marsha Goldstein from Toledo, and he asked, what are the most available type of fish in Israel? Can you say which fish are from Israel?
It is seasonal. We have, what we have in fluent supply is the marine agriculture. It is like kind of sea bream.
Sea bream.
A kind of sea bream, chipura, it's gilt head, and vrak, salmon from Scandinavia we get, and so on. But what's in Israel, Israeli fish in the Mediterranean, is so dependent in weather, in seasons, and sometimes we have mountains of sardines and then a whole month nothing.
And Moshe Kruger asked, as the oil spill, שהיה את הנפט, impact the fish supply in Israel?
It was a kind of thing that was, as usual, over panicked and so on, because the oil is floating above the water, and it did not influence so much the fish, but all the yonkim, mammals, like dolphins and turtles, sea turtles, and so on, that have to go up and breathe. It really influenced them very badly, and these were the main, and whales and so on. This was the main damage that we saw on TV every day and every hour. And the Ministry of Health declared that they don't allow to use fish from the Mediterranean. By the time they have announced it, the whole thing has already moved to Turkey or somewhere with the winds and so on. So it was really another panic on top of all the new. And actually,
until the late 70s, I think, we had, as a normal event, we had things like this happen almost day by day. And when we went to the sea, we had to take the tar off our feet or shoes or whatever.
So
Yeah.
let's finish to this.
That's the next one. אפשר לצלם את זה מלמעלה?
כן.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah. This is now the tomato. בוא תצלם את זה ממש קרוב, בקרוב. Yeah. You can see here the tomato sauce and the tomatoes without the seeds and peel off, and the dill, parsley, it's the top of a drop of fish sauce and capers, and it gets very sorry, the aceto balsamico.
Yes.
So it is getting something like a little bit Italian, Mediterranean again, and so on. And these dishes are today, this kind of dishes are today the mainstream of our restaurant. On top of it, we have salmon sashimi with wasabi sobe, or bruschetta with smoked fish and smoked on pine needles and aubergines. So we are trying to make everything different, all the dishes different than the others. And I want to tell you maybe a story about the aubergines.
Eggplants.
Eggplants,
Yeah.
yes, okay. About the eggplant, the Pasha asked his servant, Abu Yosef, and said to him, Abu Yosef, I want to have something to eat, and the cook is ill. Can you make something? Do you know to cook? Say this. Say, what will you do? Prepare for me. He said, I will prepare for you the eggplants. And he says, why eggplants? He says, because eggplants you can make 1,000 ways. You can boil it, you can fry it, you can steam it, you can, whatever you want. And you can make it sweet or sour or salty or chili. And every time it's something completely different and has a unique taste and so on. And the Pasha says, but Abu Yosef, I don't like the eggplant. He says, actually, you are right. Because the eggplant, looking at it, it's black and takes your appetite looking at it. And then every way you will do it, at the end, it leaves you kind of a bite taste in your throat. That is not very pleasant. It says, so how is it possible once you say you can make it 1,000 ways and every way is more interesting and better than the other? And then you say it's black and leaving a bite taste. You say, you see, I am your servant and not the servant of the aubergine, of the eggplant. So I'm, as I said, I'm trying to make things I like to eat. And if you like it, join the club. And that's it.
So the last question, well, first of all, I want to say thank you. The last question is about your book. There is a book in English.
Yes.
People ask how they can buy it.
It's a problem. The book in German is on Netflix. The book in, not Netflix,
Netflix, Amazon.
Amazon, yes. It's all the same.
Yeah.
I'm from the other generation. Okay, but and that this is sold only in the restaurant. But if someone is very interested, they can write me and I can send it.
Okay,
to,
so if people want
place.
the book, there is a version in English still available in the restaurant. So let us know.
I hope
and
that
we
soon
can
that
use
we
it.
will this one will be translated in English, and then you can buy it on Amazon.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. And thank Ali. He's
Ali,
the
we
one
want to
who-
say thank you to Ali. It's a pleasure to meet you. Such a amazing when we walked in, we asked Uri, so what are we going to do with the food? So just so you all know, we're going to eat it now. So
no, we're going to throw it away.
But before we want to say thank you to Uri. Yael, his wife, sits here with us for the hosting in their kitchen. We don't take it for granted and really appreciate it. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you to all the listeners.
Thank you very much.
I want to say thank you to Ali, the chef, and to Elisha, and to Shuli and Moshe Dayan, who are going to sing a song just to finalize our beautiful event. And Moti sits behind the screen. I want to say thank you to the staff of the partnership, Gil and Avital especially, that worked on this project behind the screen, behind all the hard work, and to you, our audience, the volunteers, whoever who joined us this evening. We hope you enjoyed it. And just to finalize our evening, Shuli and Moshe will sing a song that says Tfilah Eseh. I'm carrying a prayer, and this song is written in 1986 by Yoram Tearlev, and it's about hope and for good things to happen in the future. So thank you, everybody, and see you soon in Israel, in Akko, in Mate Asher, in the restaurant, in Uri Buri, Inshallah.
רק תפילה אשא, הו אלי, אלי, שהשמש תבוא עליי, ותראה לי שוב את משעוליי. הו אלי, אלי, רק תפילה כשהשמש תבוא עליי ותיקח אותי אל המסע, תפילה אשא.
You can dance, everybody. יום עצמאות שמח. Hey. ישנם ימים ללא מרגוע, בם לא אמצע לי נחמה, ומוכרח אני לנגוע בעשבים באדמה, לפסוע באותה הדרך את תוכניחה הקרקומים, ולהיות כל כך אחרת ולפרוח ערב הגשמים.
רק תפילה אשא, הו אלי, אלי, שהשמש תבוא עליי ותראה לי שוב את משעוליי.
הו אלי, אלי,
רק תפילה אשא, שהשמש תבוא עליי ותיקח אותי אל המסע.
Everybody raise your hand. Everybody. ואם אשוב אל זאת הארץ, ואם אפסע שוב בדרכים, האם כקדם יכירוני האנשים והפרחים.
רק תפילה אשא, הו אלי, אלי, שהשמש תבוא עליי ותראה לי שוב את משעוליי.
הו אלי, אלי,
רק תפילה אשא, שהשמש תבוא עליי ותיקח אותי אל המסע.
All the partnership together.
האם נמצא
את כל
היופי,
כל היופי,
את הבאר
הבאר,
הנושנה.
אשר הייתה שם כשעזבתי, עוד נובעת כבראשונה.
שהשמש תבוא עליי ותיקח אותי אל המסע, תפילה אשא.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Love you all.
Hagat Saud
This
Sameach.
is from Israel. Love you.